Hello, and welcome to Redlegs Drinks. If you haven't guessed by now, I'm Redlegs. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the quartermaster on the Fortune's Folly, and we are captained by the bravest, the smartest, the most daring. I almost got through that without laughing. Oh, that close. Yes, by handsome Devlin Driscoll. Oh no, we have to call him handsome. He makes us. What can I say? Anyway, you're probably wondering why a pirate is here talking about drinks and stuff. Well, as pirates, it's kind of natural for us to talk about drinking. Here in the hold is where they keep all of the drinks, all the spirits, and so I figured, hey, since I'm down here, I might as well experiment and try, some drinks. So this is what I'm doing. Luckily, we've got great Wi-Fi service here, so I can go on the tubes of the U and learn how to make great drinks. And I figured, as long as I'm here doing that, I might as well share with you guys as well. So, as you're very aware, this is St. Patrick's Day, and what is better on St. Patrick's Day than an Irish coffee? Now, the Irish coffee is not that old. It was invented in the 40s. There is a place in Limerick. Well, this was actually during the time of flight. So a plane was taken off from Limerick to fly over to the colonies, and they ran into some bad weather, so they had to come back. And the chef there was a man who's like, those poor folks. They tried. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to be very disappointed that they aren't making their flight. I'm going to do something special for them. So the chef there, Joe Sheraton. Yeah, Joe Sheraton. He said, I'm going to make them a drink. And so he had some coffee because, warm them up, and a little bit of Irish whiskey never hurts, right? So put a little bit of that and a little bit extra cream on top. And he just started handing them out to everybody. And they would drink and say, oh, this is the best thing ever. This is a great drink. And as everybody was like, kind of quiet. And one fella looked up at the chef and he goes, is this Brazilian coffee? And the chef goes, no, this is Irish coffee. And that's how it got its name. So we are going to make some Irish coffee. Now, you would think that you'd usually use a mug like this. By the way, we do sell these. Obviously, they're beautiful. They're wonderful. Look at that. That's a great mug. Yeah. Maybe, hopefully, we'll put like a link to where you can actually go and get some of this. But we're not going to use this. Why? Well, that's because this is not the type of thing that they used when they made their drinks. So we're going to use something more like this, because this is the kind of goblet that they used when they made it. So that's what. Now, if you decide, what, I'd really like to have my Irish coffee in one of these, by all means, please. You're probably more familiar with those little glass mugs with handles on them. That's nice too, because it helps you to keep from getting burnt, because it gets kind of hot. I'm just going to put this down over here. Now, this is for the second way of we're going to be making our Irish coffee. That's right. This is from Mr. Black. This is a great coffee liqueur that's not sweet like Kahlua. Nothing wrong with Kahlua. Love Kahlua. But this is a bit different, and you taste a little different. We'll get to that in a second. We're going to make more of the traditional one first. So now, what you would normally do is you pour a lot of hot water in here to sort of warm up the goblet, the glass. And once it's nice and hot and warmed all up, then you just take it, you throw it out. And then here's where the fun begins. You need a sweetener in there. It can be all kinds of sweeteners. It's kind of up to you what you like. Sugar cubes, and you kind of mash them up in there. Or I guess you could put agave or a simple syrup, which, if you don't know, that's like the half and half water, half sugar. You could use that in there. I'm going to use some maple syrup. That's right, this maple syrup. Now, it's usually like 2 to 3 teaspoons. I'm just going to go with the half right here. Yeah, there we go. I gotta need to get some more maple syrup here real soon. This is almost up. That maple syrup is a great substitute for a simple syrup. A lot of people like it. It gives it a tad bit more flavor as well into your drinks. Some might find it a bit I don't know, distracting in their drinks because of that. But others will say, you know what, that's great. I'm gonna do that some more. All right, now this is not a drink that uses a lot of alcohol. No, it doesn't. Actually, you use about 1.5 ounces. So there's that 1/2 ounce. And here comes the full ounce. I mean, that's not really that much in there. Set this down here. Now, oh, by the way, for the Irish whiskey that I'm using this time, I just happen to be using Buskers. It's a very, very good one, and we're almost out of it completely. So, you know, you can tell we've been having some fun with this. Now, there is no particular Jameson. There's all kinds of great Irish whiskies out there that you can use. This just happens to be the one that I'm using today. Now, for the coffee. Now, you're not going to fill this all the way up, because if you do, there's no room for the cream, and I'll be showing you the cream in a wee bit as well. So this is a nice little coffee press I've got right here. And you do want to use a good coffee. Can you use any old coffee? Well, of course you can use any old coffee that you like. You know, use the ones that you like. That's the coffee you use. If you really like decaf coffee, use decaf coffee. I mean, it's a sin against nature, but I wouldn't say anything about it. Now for the cream. Now I've got some cream in here, and I could just take this cream and just put it straight over it just like it is. But I'm going to agitate it a bit. I'm going to shake it up. Now don't do too much of this, or you end up with butter and, you know, buttermilk. That's how you make buttermilk. You know, shaking this up too much. But we're just going to, you know, get it to be a little bit fluffy. You can whisk it if you're that kind of a person who would like to whisk it. That is certainly something that can be easily done. Now, I did not add any sweetener to the cream at all. No sweetener, no. It's just regular heavy cream or whipping cream. Not half and half. Not light cream, heavy cream. All right, here we go. Now I'm just gonna pour that over the top. That sinks down a little bit, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes if you shake it up a little more, I got a little tentative, so I didn't shake it up as much as I should have. I'll shake it up a little bit more before we do it with the Mr. Black. But this is basically your Irish coffee. I mean, there's really not much else to it. Oh, and it's delicious. Really, it's wonderful. And it is definitely sweet enough. That's for sure. It's definitely sweet enough. I'm going to set this down for a second, and we're going to make our other one. This table's a little bit wobbly. That's a problem of being down in the hole like this, because you don't get the best. You bring stuff down and all. Like for my stirring cup right here, usually, you know, there's much better ones. This is actually an old coffee press that they weren't using it, so I just grabbed it. Now, making the Mr. Black Irish coffee. It's almost as easy, if not easier. But this is it's a 2-to-1 ratio of Mr. Black to Irish whiskey. So I've got my nice little measurer right here. So 1, 2. Now, I'm not adding any sweetener to this. This is all going to go this way. If I needed to add some, I could definitely do that. I could add a little bit more syrup into it. I could, whatever I needed to do. So I'm gonna put this down over here. Now remember, this is going to be a cold brew. So after I put in my Irish whiskey, what I need to do is add an ice cube to it. These nice little round ice cubes. I figured out, I went on the Amazons, and that's where it showed me how to get one of these nice round ones. I'm going to use a couple of these in here. And yes, it will dilute it a little bit, but that's not a bad thing. Sometimes you need, with your whiskeys, you like to have them a little bit more diluted. So just stir it up. Yeah, you don't really need to shake it. You don't need to shake it for this one. We'll be doing some other ones later on. We'll be doing some shaking around and things like that. Doing the hippie shake. Speaking of which. Probably a good thing we're not sailing right now after this. So I've got my other goblet. And I'm just going to strain it into this glass. There we go. Oh, actually, before I add more cream to it, what I want to do is add. This is a bit of a garnish, but it's also a bit of an ingredient, because I'll take the orange. Oh, don't worry, I'll peel this and eat this later. I've got to keep away the scurvy. Scurvy is a bad problem around here. So I'm going to just express the oils into here. Squeeze that out there, get all those good oils. Put that in there. And then once again, trying to make sure I'm not making butter. We'll give this one another try. This to help a little bit. I'm going to put this on the back of my spoon. I hope that will help it float a little better on top. There we go. See? Ah, what how beautiful that is. Now, the reason you put the orange peel in before you put the cream on is because if you put the cream on first and then you try to squeeze out that that orange peel, well, all the oils will get trapped up here in the cream and it won't make it down into the actual drink. Cheers to you, lads and lasses. Oh yeah, that's a very good drink. Oh, I love that. Okay, so this was Redlegs Drinks. I'm so glad that you could come and see me. Have a great St. Paddy's Day. Enjoy yourselves. And remember, don't drink and drive, because the life you save may be mine, and I appreciate that.